Baller Scholar Podcast.
Can you be friends with people under 18?
No, that's actually can you? I don't think so.
Like,
I can't be like good friends with someone that's like 17 years old. Like, I'm working on high school.
Shout out to the wiener.
if you didn't work in high school, I think it would be creepier, though.
What wiener, Brian?
If you're just in the business sector, like,
Oh,
befriending
Aaron.
Aaron Wiener.
17-year-old.
Shout out,
So
shout out, Weenie.
Shout out Aaron Wiener.
Because it's like, oh,
Shout
Josh
out.
is from the 17-year-old. Oh, no, it's fine. He works at a school, but it's like, Josh is from the 17-year-old. Yeah, no, he works on, like, fucking State Street. Like, where is he meeting these kids?
What the fuck are you guys talking
That's like,
about?
I remember Bill Burr did a podcast where he, like,
Who's chomping into the mic right now?
not me, I was talking while I'm picking popcorn on my teeth.
Oh, Matt, the classic guy.
Where someone was saying that he was getting married to this girl that he met at camp when he was a counselor and she was like a kid.
Yeah, that's fucked.
But they didn't start dating then.
Yeah, but it's like not.
It's disgusting.
Speaking of pedophilia, though, actually,
Okay.
Nikola Jokic
in the
was
news.
charged.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
With what?
Pedophilia.
Mm-hmm. But it's fine in Serbia. It's like a weird
Wait, are
law
you
thing.
fucking serious?
Yeah.
This
He's
is
out for
some
the
nice
season.
ASMR for our ASMR.
I was trying to make a seamless segue into the Nuggets.
Aw, bro, stop.
This is always the train's always tough to get going, but once you know, I thought that would do it though. It'd be a tough way to intro fades out. Oh, Nikola Jokic actually was
gonna
charged with
chum.
pedophilia, child pornography. That's a tough one.
So guess what team I'm talking about when I say that they re-signed Monte Morris to a 3-year, $27 million deal.
The
Can only be
Nuggets.
one team.
1 year, $10 million to Paul Millsap, and a few other pieces.
You didn't want to say Facundo Campazzo.
I did not want to say that. No, I don't know how to say that.
All those numbers are made up too.
But I honestly
recording?
think that
Yep, we're running.
Jermichael Green.
Big signing.
feels like Jeremy Grant role.
Well, I'm actually not sure. Jermichael Green, I feel like, is a bigger loss for the Clippers than he is like as good of a
Like
game.
an asset.
Yeah, for the Nuggets. I mean, they have like power forwards.
Yeah,
And I mean,
you
I
won't
guess
see
he
the-
could play like a center position because they did lose Plumlee, but I feel like at the same time he's not. Then he'd be like kind of an undersized center.
Yeah, he's 6'8".
And they already have Porter Jr., Millsap, Jokic, Bol.
Yeah, I mean, we expect Michael Porter to probably take on a bigger role
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
definitely.
like eat up a
He
lot
had
of
a
that
couple good
Jeremy
games
Grant.
in the playoffs. No.
yeah, he did. Well,
Clutch
more
shots.
before before the playoffs, but
Okay.
Good
he
bubble.
was still having he had a pretty decent bubble.
Oh, the bubble. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
This team too has, according to Las Vegas, two of the most likely most improved players.
Really?
Michael Porter and
Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Because Jamal Murray
Actually, yeah.
had a great bubble statistically. I mean, 18 and a half, almost 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Like, he could explode off of that. I think it's fair. Michael Porter's not starting from, like, a great statistical.
I am now
Stat line.
looking at Jamal Murray's stats right now, having like a really almost identical last 2 seasons. I can totally see that. Why they would put him at
Most improved?
most improved? Yeah, I mean, what would he have to do to win most improved? Last season he averaged 18 and a half, 4.8 assists, and 4 rebounds. I feel like
24 points a game.
24. You think? I guess it all depends on
More
like
or
other
less
people too.
for you.
Because if other people, I was gonna say like less. I was gonna say more like 4 more points, like 22 points maybe.
Okay.
It's tough because he's not, like, he's a primary ball handler, but, like, Jokic runs, like, some of the offense runs through him, too, which I feel like might hurt his chances a little bit, especially if him and Michael Porter both are, you know.
Well, and there were also people who were hurt. So usage-wise, he was getting like way more usage.
Right.
than
Will
he's used
Barton's
to.
going to come back.
Will Barton and Gary Harris was hurt for the majority of the time, and when he came back, he during the bubble, he wasn't
Right.
like even.
Well, yeah,
really
it's a scenario
good.
where like Murray had to pick up some of the scoring and
Yeah.
probably shoot more shots.
And then obviously you said Will Barton not even there at all,
Mm.
and he actually does score a lot, shoot a lot.
Do you like the Paul Millsap re-signing?
Well,
I feel like he's kind of a weak spot.
I kind of thought that he was gonna leave. I thought he was gonna leave, but I guess they thought that they needed him because they lost Jeremy Grant. I don't even know which one came first right now that I'm off the top of my head, but
Well, they said
Around the
that,
same
like,
time, I
there
think.
was 18
Yeah.
teams in the league that were interested in Paul Millsap.
yeah. So I mean, I thought he was gone, but
I mean, he's a great like veteran presence, a lot of
yeah,
playoff experience.
that might be like the whole thing why he's even worth
just
10
on
million.
the floor, like undersized power forward, doesn't shoot great. I would
Yeah.
have liked.
What was
Well,
that?
it's just
what
like-
was that deal?
1 year, 10 mil.
I didn't know he was that old. 35.
Well, and
Mhm.
Turning 36.
yeah, and I feel like because he's old, he
A little
also,
bit.
and it's also because it's like the Nuggets and they're like a stranger team
Yeah.
Mhm.
where it's like how many minutes does he even play per game? Like 22,
Yeah.
24.
I panicked when I thought the Celtics were going to sign him. I was like, that sucks.
Yeah, 24 is what he averaged,
Yeah, so it's
which
like
I feel like is going to be less.
yeah,
But I would have liked for them to be in like the Serge Ibaka sweepstakes because I feel like that drastically
yeah.
changes this team. If you have someone like that, if you upgrade Paul Millsap to Serge Ibaka, who still brings the playoff experience,
yeah,
has
No,
won a title,
That's a great point. Yeah, I mean,
because they didn't make any like moves that jump off the page. I mean, they kept most of their guys. Good draft, R.J. Hampton, high ceiling kind of guy.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen
He's
the
weird.
Nuggets have
Yeah.
a long history of developing.
Kind of a
Great
random
picks.
side note about RJ Hampton, like
Mhm.
super weird. Comes up on like the Snapchat, like when you go to stories and they show you like suggested people, and he does like question and answers always, and like everyone's like, "Oh, my girlfriend's cheating on me. What do I do?" And he's like, "Sorry, bro. Or no, my girlfriend says she's not cheating on me, but has a boy best friend or something like that." And he's like, "Sorry, bro. She's cheating on you. You gotta dump her." And every day, and it's just people like making fun of him for being like weird, but he
He's
like
trying to offer his
takes
services
it seriously.
to the fans.
And like I don't know. I think he's really like really strange. I have her up right here. Let's see if he has any down today.
So, things I've learned today.
Okay.
R.J. Hampton, strange guy.
Yeah, ham time. Here we go.
Write it down. Write that down.
And the last thing he posted was 22 hours ago, and it was him in the snow walking to their team bus. But actually, I'll follow him for more RJ Hampton stories throughout the year.
That would be perfect.
But he's a weirdo. Like I don't know.
Okay. RJ
Okay.
Hampton's
But yeah,
a
no,
question
I-
mark off the
Weirdo.
court. We'll see how he does on the court.
Like maybe a Manti Te'o situation out of him. Like this.
Oh man.
Nah,
RJ Hampton's
Wow.
going to get catfished is Brian's hot take.
Whatever,
For the
whatever
2020-21
happened to
season.
he's
Man
good. Isn't he on the?
He's on the Bears, I think, isn't he? Didn't we look that up?
Yeah.
This Campazzo guy is one of those people that is coming over like 10 years in Spain. He's like 29.
It's Rafton stash.
Yeah, kind of thing.
Compaz.
But I feel like he's going to be one of those people that actually will contribute. PJ Dozier, we're familiar with him.
Oh, I love PJ Dozier. Athletic, long, small forward, can handle the ball, can get to the basket, and sometimes can knock down a shot here and there. I mean, defensively, he's strong. And when they have some foul trouble with, Barton or Monte Morris, and then who did they lose this year that is normally out there? Who's
Jeremy Grant.
Grant
no,
Plumlee.
another forward. Maybe we just don't have him on this list. I'm forgetting the name, but throw him out there, and he's fits the mold that the Nuggets need.
Yeah, when we talk about teams that have guys in pretty like solid roles, like well-defined roles, I feel like the Nuggets are kind of at the top there, where we know where the scoring's going to come from. We know who the defense, like where the defense is going to come from, and they have guys that a lot of youth.
Oh, I was thinking Torrey Craig. My fault.
Oh, true, they
He's-
lost him,
He's
but
did they lose him?
yeah, he signed with the Bucks.
Oh shit, yeah.
But I don't think they miss him too much. I do like Torrey Craig though.
I'm always impressed by the Nuggets
Generic name.
and they're like the Raptors, like a great regular season team.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see them like, do you think they got better? Do you think having guys like Porter and Murray who are still developing, does that mean they're better as a team this year? And where do you see them? Where do you see their ceiling? Is it the finals?
Well, their ceiling, I wouldn't say this season. I don't think they're going to be able to make the finals this year. I think that they didn't get worse
No.
from since
Probably
the Western
not.
Conference Finals, but I can't say that they got better. I mean, if anything, they kind of did get a little bit worse
Right,
because they
depending
did
on
lose Plumlee, they did lose Jeremy Grant,
Right.
and those are two like players that were actually playing like a solid amount of minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't you really can't like rule it out, obviously, because I mean they did like surprise us last year, and that was also without like Will Barton, and now they have, I mean like some rookies, Jermichael Green, maybe Bull might do something.
Be kind of sick.
That would be kind of sick, but I mean
like
you can't
to
like
see
rule
that.
it out. But I feel like there's just like no getting past the Lakers or the Clippers.
I know. I feel like it's a tough time to be a Nuggets fan because you have a really good team, and they just got really good over the last couple of years. But then LeBron came.
I don't know if they played like they were in the. Sorry to interrupt. but
No,
if they,
no,
If
no,
they play like
go
they
ahead.
did in the bubble, I don't know. I think they have a shot, but that you have to like play like that consistently.
Like that's Jamal
Jamal's
Murray
got to
going
have.
off like
I mean, if
40,
he plays like
yeah.
that, he's got a MVP season right there.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, too, we forget that they were one game away from losing in the first round to the Jazz.
Yeah.
Dug out of that series. One
Yeah.
One
game
game.
away from the Clippers. Dug out of that
Yeah, it
series.
wasn't like
which is
domination.
both like so this team could like quick exit first
That
round.
was like also bubble. Yeah.
Right.
Bubble.
So we don't know what this team can do just like in a normal atmosphere.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's weird how they were
Yeah.
teetering so close where their season could have gone first round exit and went all the way to like the Western Conference Finals.
They took the Lakers to 6 games or 5.
5, I believe.
Yeah.
It was only 5. Oh.
So
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. I feel like they could have had a better offseason that would have put them
Oh,
in that
yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
Well, it also could be a little interesting with the smaller amount of fans because they are like historically, especially like recently, like one of the better home teams.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, because they're in Colorado
Elevation.
because of elevation. But I wonder how much, like
less gravity, three's going quicker.
exactly.
true.
Yeah. I
That's
wonder
just
how. I
science.
wonder like having less fans there if that's going to also affect
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
um, home court advantage.
I got a question for you.
Oh boy. Oh
This
god.
is a bit of question, really. Can you name more than one nickname for Jokic?
Oh.
Joker.
Right? And Basketball Reference says 3.
Wait, what was that?
I've never
Is
heard.
it something bear related?
Yes.
His
The
name
dancing bear?
No, that was Draymond.
that?
You remember that?
Draymond.
Draymond, but it's Yabusele.
Is it like Pooh Bear or something? Something
Big
weird?
Honey and
Okay.
Yoke. Which Yoke makes
Yeah.
sense. Big
Oh,
Honey.
Big Honey.
Nobody has ever called them that.
All right,
7
all right.
feet 284.
I want to talk
It's a
about
big
Jokic.
boy.
That's all beef.
Um,
Grass-fed beef.
I'm gonna shout out Bobby D again.
I thought he was a Bulls fan.
No, but he like hates Jokic because
Oh.
he thinks he thinks he's a stat patter. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh wait. Sorry to go back for a second though, but
Screw you, Bobby D.
Fuck
really
you,
quick,
Bobby.
really quickly.
Reverse shout
Jokic,
out.
Jokic is named Big Honey
Oh boy, here we go.
because he's not only built like Winnie the Pooh,
Oh,
What's a bear
I
thing?
knew it, bro.
No,
I said Pooh Bear.
he's slow and he's sweet.
Jesus Christ.
Sweet sugar Nicholas.
Is that
Nikola
is this
Jokic.
Cam Newton making nicknames for all the NBA players on Basketball
He
Reference?
runs Basketball
Cam Newton
Reference.
works
I
for
love it.
BasketballReference.com.
I think we should just go through every single player and see what they have for nicknames. Paul Millsap, the anchor man. Where does that? What? That's like
to
a
answer
rabbit
your
hole.
question though, Scott, I
Yeah.
don't think Nikola Jokic is a stat patter.
Yeah,
I think he's just like
He's just good, right?
He's a 7-footer that can like play the point guard position realistically, and if you're doing that, like you're bound to fill out the stat
But
sheet.
don't you feel like when people can score like often, and they like end up with like because he can score like 30 points, 40
Right.
points, like he
Right.
we've seen him do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's like oftentimes he'll have a game where he's like 15 points, 11 assists, 13 rebounds.
Yeah.
And it's like like obviously that's still helping the team obviously, and like he's still like a top 10, top 15 player obviously. There's no question about that. But like at the same time, isn't that kind of stat padding?
You think that's like a choice?
Even though like it's weird, I feel like it might be a choice. Maybe not like every night, but I feel like when you're scoring like when you're like that size, maybe you shouldn't be doing what he does.
Yeah, I mean, be really physical.
They were very successful
Right.
last year, so I mean, I can't really say that.
Yeah.
So
But
really,
like at the same time, like I feel like whatever he averaged last year, if it was like 21 and like 7 and like 10 rebounds or whatever, what if that
You're
was
pretty
like,
close, dude.
What was it? I don't know.
19.9, 9.7, and 7.
So if he was averaging like 24 points, 10 rebounds, and like 5 assists,
Right. Same
maybe
amount of
they'd-
points, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Responsible
So-
for.
But then at the same time, like maybe he's more focused on scoring.
So looking at this right now, Nikola Jokic in his highest scoring games, he scores the highest when he shoots the 3 ball well, and I'm
sense.
saying well is like above 35%. Very minimally does he do well scoring wise. When he doesn't do well from the 3, and in the games that he doesn't do well from the 3, he makes up for it at the line. And then this was from last year's numbers. So I think for him, he plays so outside, and he can be so dominant. He can be a great scorer. I think realistically, though, his 3-point game needs to fall for him to have those big nights. And on those big nights, so here's one: 47, 5, and 8, and 8 rebounds. My fault. 39. 10 rebounds, 11 assists. So that's a triple-double right there. But when his shot is like falling, he's finding himself outside in the 3-point line. Like, it's not like he's driving, he's in the low post. I mean, a lot of his baskets, this one, he goes 4 for 6 from 3, 12 of 20 from the field. And he finishes with 33 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. But he shot 4 of 6 from 3. You know what I mean? A lot of it, he's going to be sitting at the 3-point line, catch and shoot kind of thing.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I think he's. I don't think he's a stat patter, but I think he's really good.
Yeah.
Take that, Bob.
I think you're right, and I feel like
Sorry,
also
Bobbity.
we see a lot of like his assists come from the 3-point line, like come from like he's
Yeah.
not like driving.
Well, and that's
and,
by
like,
design.
and he's
That's
not,
not a drive and
He's
dish.
not driving and dishing. He's
No.
like he's
Draw the
act-
man out.
Yeah, and I think that
Yeah.
because of like how unique he is and how he really can score anywhere on the court, and there's really not that many people like that who can score anywhere like dominantly. Like he can do it. He can
Yeah.
do it at any time.
Yeah.
Here's a game where he goes 2 of 9 from 3, 10 of 22 from the field, and finishes with 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. But he also goes 2 steals and 2 blocks. You can't just stat pad steals and blocks either. Like he fills
Right,
it out in all
right,
those
right,
categories. I don't know. I like him a lot. I think I like the team if they're consistent. If Jamal Murray does have a most improved type year, it could also be an MVP year. I mean, for him to get those stats up that much and be considered for most improved is got to be considered for MVP too if they do well enough. And Michael Porter, I think, showed signs of like being like he could be really good in the bubble. He did complain a lot, so he's got like this superstar ego for someone that didn't really prove himself out of high school. But I think you could see them surprising like Western Conference Finals, and even a contend for a championship. Okay, on to the next team. Sorry.
Cool.
No, that's a good way to wrap up the Nuggets. Timberwolves.
They suck. Next team. I'm just kidding. No.
Wow.
Obviously, one of the podcast favorites.
Yeah.
Malik Beasley.
Fan of the show.
You drop
really.
you drop that much money on him a year.
Oh,
What is it?
boy.
15 a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
4 years, $60 million.
So he's a question mark. He did play in the preseason game. We'll see. I think most likely a suspension. We don't know like to what degree, how many games.
Damn.
I don't think. I mean, I think they can fill like the void temporarily. I don't know if they're willing to get looking to get in the playoffs. I don't know how that goes.
It's funny because like on paper they look like a team that could make the playoffs, but at the same time,
Maybe.
like there's lots of lots of talent in the West.
We've kind of nailed down our
Right.
locks for the East. We haven't really done so with the West yet.
This is kind of a stupid question,
Yeah.
but it's a hypothetical. If
Fine.
the Timberwolves were in the East, do you think that they could make the playoffs? I think that they would be like one of those like 8
I
seed
think they would be
contenders.
in the discussion.
Yeah, but
I would think they would probably be the top, maybe.
Dude, I think, yeah.
We'll see.
But
the West
yeah.
has depth, you know,
Cat is really dominant. I feel like.
if he's not lazy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean,
Yep.
I mean, I think that
Well,
like I Ricky Rubio is a great pickup.
yeah, back in his home,
Obviously
back in his
but yeah,
you know?
Original team.
I think that he'll be good for Cat. I feel like he could also be
help create shots.
Good for D'Angelo,
good for
too.
D'Lo because he's obviously an unselfish player.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky
Very
Rubio,
much so.
Ricky Rubio, and I feel like that's gonna definitely help them.
I mean, if you look at the
Stars on the
bench,
team.
they get you got Ed Reed down there. Ed Reed, I mean not Ed Reed, sorry, Ed Davis, one of Josh's favorite
Newly acquired.
big men, shot blocking, rebounding. Ed Davis,
Just a bulldog, you know?
and then Massachusetts legend Jake Layman, Hockomock League legend Jake
man.
Layman on the bench,
Shout-outs.
who had just signed a decent deal with them. Out last season with a lot of injuries, and then obviously didn't get to the bubble. But Jake Layman, when he's hot, he's hot.
Solid
And
piece.
he can fly. So you get
Can
Jake.
jump.
You got Jake Layman off the bench. You got Jarrett Culliver, who one of those guys that
We'll
could,
see.
Yeah. You
Jury's
got
still out.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards. Was the number one. They used the number one pick on him. He's had a tough start to the preseason. Not awful, but I think so far everyone's struggled in those first games. But everyone knows that this kid isn't going to be a bust.
Can you say that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he does have a couple red flags with the
What?
whole.
I feel like Matt is hot on him being a bust
Are you?
because of the whole. Go ahead, Brian.
Because of
can you tell us
the
that
red
story?
flag that he doesn't like basketball as much as he wish he could have played football.
And the rumor that he doesn't know how to keep Jumbo in a bowl.
Oh yeah. Do you have that story?
Gumbo.
Yeah, gumbo. I said Jello and
Then
then
you said jumbo.
gumbo.
But then
Yeah,
you
you're
said,
right. Then
yeah,
like
sorry, because of the
you're
Jell-O.
right. We'll have to cut that because I can't identify.
As
Soup.
stupid. Oh,
Yeah.
soup.
Is it a soup?
I actually don't know. I think
It's like kind of a soup.
I think
Okay.
it is.
So here you go. I have the Anthony Edwards story.
I thought you were saying
Please.
that you couldn't identify as stupid.
Yeah, I don't think
So
Let's
Anthony
hear it.
Edwards.
this isn't a
not
real
everyone.
story.
It-
I don't think.
Nah, it's got.
Has not been
it's gotta
verified.
It's gotta be.
This is.
This
It's
is,
too.
this is the opposite of what's got to be a real story.
No, it's too weird for someone to make up.
All right.
So-
well,
So he said. So this guy said he's definitely out here. My friend manages Beniana, which is like one of those places where you have like the gas fire that you cook your Japanese
Hibachi.
food.
Mhm.
It's essentially hibachi, but you do it yourself. And said that they had to ask Anthony Edwards to stop coming in. Apparently, he didn't understand how the restaurant worked, and he would casually bring in his own food to heat up on the tap-in tables. The last straw was when he sat at a table hosting a large birthday party, and he spilled his entire container of jumbo all over the stovetop. And then, that was earlier in the week, too. This story came out where he said, to be honest, I can't watch basketball, and explains that the first time he dunked, it was a signal that he was, too talented, that he could accomplish something great going to the NBA, that he might not have been able to do in football, but football was his first love, and that he wished that he could, continue on with football, but he knew that he was too promising in basketball to let that go. But
Yeah,
also,
I don't
you
like
can tell,
that.
he can't hold his gumbo.
red flag. The gumbo thing even more than the not liking basketball
Yeah.
thing. I don't know. I also just the fit to me. The Timberwolves don't have a great pedigree of like developing guys in house other than Cat. When you think about some of the picks, you think about like Johnny Flynn, Zach LaVine they traded, Derek Williams 2nd overall pick didn't pan out. Chris Dunn, Lauri Markkanen, all gone. I don't know if he's going to be like an exception to the rule. I mean, it doesn't sound like
Right.
all the things are there. I'm not going to say like he's definitely like Anthony Bennett going to end up like out of the league in 3 years.
Anthony though, same name.
That's true. So we have Carl Anthony and Anthony Edwards. So I'm not sold on Anthony Edwards.
Are you sold on the Timberwolves making it to the playoffs?
No.
Okay.
I think they'll be. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree. No,
What's your
Oh,
range for them
definitely not.
landing?
like percentage wise.
No, just like seeds, like where they fall
they're go-
in the West.
Yeah. I mean, off the top of my head, without like thinking about a lot of the other like decent teams like that aren't gonna make the playoffs, I would say
Mhm.
probably like 10, 11.
Yeah.
Just because of how
Yeah.
close like the race was last year. Obviously, like the team is different this year. Like Cat was hurt a lot. D'Lo, like wasn't
Just came
there.
over
Yeah,
and-
came over, and then I mean they were just like starting like
Yeah. D'Lo
like
only played
3
12
rookies
games.
at one point. Like
Well,
Nas, they were starting like Nas Reed.
It's a mess.
Yeah, Jarrett Culver. It wasn't
I
good
forgot,
last year.
yeah.
So I mean, they could definitely be better than. I mean, they will be better than last year. Not they can be. Like they
Yeah.
will be.
I
But will they be able to make the playoffs? Probably
Can
not.
D'Lo play Brooklyn Nets type like basketball? Like,
yeah, he was really good a couple years ago.
he was.
I think he can. I think
Yeah.
this would be
No,
good for him.
I think he can, but I do think it's just too deep right now. I forgot how deep how close that playoff race was last year with Memphis and Portland, and then the Suns with their ridiculous bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those 3 teams right there. I don't know that the Timberwolves are better than any of those teams.
Just culture
Did I
wise.
say Timberwolves?
Timberwolves. I heard that.
That's a cool
I
edit,
actually
bro.
Yo,
Just bread.
can we get that actually? Hey, can we get our
Timberwolves.
hey,
Shout out Andrew Weiner.
No, shout out Stephen Higgins, our
Yeah.
graphics guy.
That's the name.
Can we get well, actually,
I'm our graphics guy,
Oh,
but he's
Matt-
a graphics guy.
Matt is the Baller Scholars graphics guy. Steven is our beloved graphics.
And Josh, you're big
Guy.
on Josh Okoji, just because you guys have the
Get
same
the
last name,
Timberwolves
but
up
also
there.
because he's
Shout out to the
I mean,
bread
first name,
industry
but also
in
because he's like
Minnesota.
he's an
Shout out
defensive
to
workhorse
Burnt
similar
Lees.
Exactly.
to
you,
Jonathan
Steven.
Gerfinkel. Who's
Like
a-
honestly
who's a
though,
legend.
what happened to him?
Okoji.
Yeah, I feel like he was like killing it 2 years ago, and like all of a
I
sudden,
think he was fine
He's
last
alright.
season. Then they didn't
you know
make it to the
what I
bubble.
think? You know what I think it was? I think he had like that one play on Harden when he blocked Harden.
Mm-hmm.
Peak.
I think that was it. I think that's all he did.
Let's
He's like
see.
Jadavian Clowney.
And then everyone's like,
Actually,
"Oh,
he didn't have injury
Go.
troubles last year. He played 62 games, averaged 8.5 points,
offensively, but it's
one steal,
Yeah, not bad.
half a block with 4.5 rebounds. So not great. I'm sure
That's
he.
a fine
I'm
bench.
sure he fills out the stat sheet.
Yeah.
He doesn't fill out the stat sheet, but does well. Does well. Just.
I mean, this is a team that has 2 All-Stars. I mean, when you talk about all those teams in the East, I don't think any of them do. On paper, I think the culture is. I don't know. The whole thing with Jimmy Butler when he was there, his short stint, was not good. And now it's seeming Jimmy Butler in Miami and what he's been able to do there. I feel like that says a lot about like the kind of types of guys they had in Minnesota and like whatever culture they have.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird because I feel like they're gonna be like pretty much constantly underperforming what they are in like paper.
I mean, yeah. Shall we move on to the
Yeah,
Oklahoma
let's do
City
it.
Thunder? I mean, this is a quick team. I mean, there's not much going
Could
for
just
them this
read every
season.
single trade.
I think if we read every
And that
single
would be
trade that
enough.
they did, it'd be longer than their outlook for the upcoming season. I mean,
New favorite
Oh,
player though,
man.
Brian, is Alexei Pugusevsky,
Yeah.
who had a great preseason game the other night.
play the tapes. I mean, they start by like the first blockbuster of the late
Mhm.
summer, early fall. I mean, they're loaded with picks, so they can flip for superstars in the future. But I mean, just look at the team; it is so bad. And that Alexei Pugusevsky, whatever.
It was
like,
a tough look.
Yeah,
right out the gate.
from Olympiakos over in Greece, and you watch him. He's an 18-year-old,
Oh,
7
God.
foot, like small forward, power forward. And the other night in their first preseason game, looked like a wounded giraffe. Just like
It's an interesting metaphor.
you throw, like it'd be like if you,
Oh, that guy.
yeah, it'd be like if you threw one of us in there.
And we were
like
6'9".
we were panicking, trying to dribble the ball around like actual
You're just a little
NBA
nervous.
players. And they used the 17th pick. And I read a story last night that he was shocked that he got picked by the Thunder at all, much less that early. He did not see himself going in the first round, even though people had him at 25 to the Thunder. But they did not think he was going that early. And then, Matt, you said you like the Theo Maldon pick. He did well the other night.
He had a good game.
Speak on it.
I just like how the Thunder, I feel like talking about the opposite of the Timberwolves, have a history of being able to develop some of the guys. I mean, have made some great picks kind of early in the draft. I don't know where these first round picks will land, because I feel like in the NBA the difference between a lottery pick and like a 23rd through 30 is very different. So like the value of that's gonna kind of depend on how the NBA shakes out over the next like decade, however like far they go. The problem I have kind of is like you don't even have a young core to build around per se. I mean, Shai I like a lot.
Yeah.
Dort seems to be someone that you can defend like the opposing team's best guy. See if
it's like what you would want Semi Ojeley to be.
Right. But, Basley too hit some shots in the bubble. I don't know what kind of production. Like Al Horford's kind of just there waiting to get traded or have his contract run out.
Yeah. I like Hamidou Diallo. He had a good game the other night. You good?
Mike Muscala played really well too.
Yeah, he started the game like
he
4
knocked
for 4
down.
from 3.
Josh is lit after one beer right now. He's freaking out.
Okay, really quickly, just
The Thunder are going to be offended if you don't comment on their team.
just a quick count.
I don't
I'd
even
see
want to
the
watch
Thunder-
a
I'd
single
see the
Thunder
Thunder-
game. Poor Al Horford.
They have 17 first-round picks through 2026.
Holy fuck.
17.
Yeah.
And you're
What-
only
what
supposed to
is-
have 6.
I think that I'm about to drop a hot take. I don't know if any of you guys agree.
Oh,
Please.
God.
I think
I'm going to
that-
agree with you. Let's say it
It's
at the
actually
same
not like
time.
that hot. I
Okay.
guess it's just that
They
I
make
feel
the
like they
playoffs.
will not be the worst team in the league.
Oh. It's the Cavs.
It's the Cavs. No,
It's
maybe
not the
maybe
Cavs.
Pistons, honestly.
No, I think they.
I mean,
Knicks.
it's gonna be close.
It could be.
I
No,
don't know.
but I don't think it will be the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder are gonna have a harder schedule.
No. Different coach too.
maybe,
Yeah, but
maybe.
at the same they
Yeah.
still have like they
George
still have
Hill,
Gilgeous. They still I mean,
Shai.
like George Hill's like not like terrible.
Yeah.
And then Al Horford. I mean,
They're
Al Horford's like
fine,
once again like not
fine.
like terrible. And like, as long as he's not like bad, like
But
he
Al
plays, like,
Horford
last
is
year.
like the only. He's like now their premier big man, right? How good is
Yeah, that's
Basley?
true. I mean, I will say that like their
He has to
bench
get
is
to hide
like
behind
their bench
Embiid.
is like awful.
Right.
That doesn't look good at all.
Maybe Horford is happy. He gets to like take younger guys, teach younger guys.
Gets to live in Oklahoma City
take him
in the
under his
winter.
wing.
That's awesome.
Man, man.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to flip him if a team like in the playoff
It'll probably
picture
happen.
will
Yeah.
drop a
Because
first
why would
for
they
him.
keep him at this point?
No, who wants him?
But
Exactly, who would want him? Yeah.
I still don't know.
Celtics.
Well, depending on what role he plays, I could see him being like come off the bench.
Well, I mean, like, what if he just like has a?
I
I mean,
would
that
take-
contract
he's
is
the only-
He's like
brutal.
the sec. He's like
Yeah,
literally
that
the number
sucks.
2. So like, what if he just has like a great year?
Oh,
I mean, he could, and
the
that would
contract is
make,
the worst part.
Yeah, the contract is the worst part. But I could totally see him averaging like 18 and 8 or something like that.
No, absolutely, just
Yeah.
from being on the
I
floor
think he's a fine player. still.
35 minutes a game.
I would like to see Horford.
No, he's a tough fit in Philly. Very tough fit. Didn't
Yeah,
fit that
yeah.
system at
It
all.
doesn't make sense when you have like
He
3
kinda-
power
he
forward,
definitely
center
cut a lot
sized
of
players
slack
on the
for
court
it,
at the
too.
same time.
Right. So
It doesn't really
I
make sense with like Ben Simmons and Embiid, like let alone Al Horford. So
They also picked up Admiral Schofield.
huge.
Kind
You
of
like
a
him?
beast. Bad James Harden.
I like Ty Jerome too.
Oh, fuck, mate.
You just ruined the podcast. Ty Jerome. Yeah.
He didn't do anything in Phoenix, but I still like him,
Mm-hmm.
and
He can
he's
be good.
gonna see the floor probably a lot more in OKC because
I
he
think a
might
lot
as
of
well.
these guys. TJ Leaf.
Isaiah Roby was a guy. I'm not going to pretend to know who that is, but he started for them in the preseason game. So, I mean, if that's any sign of who's going to start, TJ Leaf will see probably more minutes. He played in the preseason game.
Yeah. He never got
I
his
don't
chance
know.
to shine in Indiana.
No, again, like the NBA is all about like consolidating talent. So, like if you have, how many first round picks did you say?
20. They have
22?
16.
16.
Until 2026.
Like if you have 16 guys that are all late
Something
first,
like
like
that,
that's not going to do anything for you. Like you need to have, you'd rather have 3 top 5 picks than 16.
17
like,
first
at
round picks
20.
in the next 6 years.
So like I'll be very interested to see how like Sam Presti like converts all those picks into talent. Because I feel like you can't just draft, you can't
Which
just
he
take
definitely
all
can.
those picks.
Yeah, he definitely can.
No, yeah, absolutely. He's proven that they can. I don't know. Their coach is like some random guy. I don't know what his story is. Because they've had Scott Brooks, Billy Donovan. I feel like have been two really solid coaches to develop and kind of handle like the stars they've had.
The way that their team has like moved the past few years is like ridiculous.
Yeah, and they've
They had
stayed
Durant and
competitive.
Westbrook, and then Westbrook, Durant.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, Westbrook, Paul George after Durant left, and then they both end up.
Chris
getting
Paul
traded,
comes
obviously. Chris Paul comes in, and then they
Make
also
the
get,
playoffs.
They also get Shea, and then they also get Dennis Schroeder,
in. Yeah.
and then and like.
Well, the thing is, like Sam Presti's
good.
not.
Steven Adams still, and
Yeah.
they were still a good team.
He's not afraid to like flip a star. Like he's not gonna sit around, let a contract expire, and
and that's what
lose a guy.
I actually like that.
And he's like completely committed to a rebuild. You know.
I think that's a lot of things that GMs can like look at and be like and think about. Look at your team and be like, we are not winning anything
Right.
with this.
Flip the guys that have value.
What's the
and
point of making the playoffs as like a 6 seed the next 3 years when we could
yeah.
when we could flip the
'Cause you're not
players,
gonna get
flip
any-
the guys and then get something back. And now with all the picks that they have, if they can make trades
Right.
for the right assets, I mean within the next like 5 years, maybe they can once again be like a competitive team.
It's kind of like Danny Ainge after they traded like the big three away. Because then they had a ton of picks. Some you missed on. I mean, they got lucky with Tatum, like,
Yeah.
and getting like the.
Yeah.
Lucky.
So give me a number.
Just like how that shook out.
How long before
How
they
they
make
got
it
the
back
first
to the playoffs?
pick.
How many years?
Yeah.
I
How
know
many
it's
years
hard to
before they
predict.
make it back to the playoffs?
It's really unpredictable.
It's really unpredictable, you know, especially with like LeBron. Like when is LeBron going to retire, and
Right.
when will will any of these players that are like 32 years old that are like
Brown.
stars right now, when will will Damian Lillard be bad in 5 years? Will James Harden be bad in 5 years? Not bad, but like not
As
like
good.
as good.
Well, someone will probably fill their place. I
Yeah,
feel
someone.
in a
Yeah,
way.
but,
but
like, is it over under 3 years?
I would say
3.5. Set it there.
Well, they're gonna have a
I would say
ton.
over.
They're gonna have a ton of money too. Like if they want to take a chance on
Yeah, I mean, I would say like
a star,
round.
they could
I
throw a
don't-
ton of money at.
I don't think it's
someone.
going to take that long. I really don't, because they have so many picks. I think that it can be like shorter than a lot of people think. They're obviously not going to be good this year. I'm assuming that they won't be great next year. But once those like picks get like
You could fill some spots.
yeah, and once I mean then they can they'll definitely improve. I mean obviously, but yeah.
Where do you put Shy in like the most improved player conversation?
I feel like this last year was like his chance. I still think he could improve more
Well,
this year.
I
I
mean,
just think this team is gonna stink so bad that like looking at it for most improved, like they won't even be competitive. He'll be good, but like narrative based, like you're not gonna be like, oh, this team looks great because Shy was a killer.
that's
Like,
true.
Shy,
If they make the playoffs, though,
oh,
you
you
would
would
be
the playoffs. Give
MVP.
Shy that, yeah.
Well, it's an interesting thing though, because he was like nominated for it,
Yeah.
but it's like
Yeah.
what like he's similar. Well, not like really similar with Jamal Murray, because like it's funny because like statistically speaking,
yeah,
they're
pretty
like pretty
close.
similar, but like Jamal Murray seems like he's more of a star
And like
currently,
primary
Game
scorer.
changer.
and he's on like a good team.
Right.
But like,
Should that
like,
matter to most improved?
I don't think so. But like, I feel like, Shai Gilgeous could average like potentially average like 24. And I know we
Yeah.
actually talked about this in an earlier podcast where we were saying like we don't like they might not be able to. He might not be able to score as much because he's going to be like the other
The
team's
primary
number
ball
one.
handler, yeah, and number one threat.
Yeah, so then they're gonna put their best defender
Till
on
Al
him, all
Horford
that.
sets pancake picks
But-
for him.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I could still see him potentially scoring 24 points a game. I think that's a lot. That is a lot to ask of him. But like, who else is there?
That's true.
Someone's got to score.
I mean, Brandon Ingram won last year. He went from 18 points to like about 24. I thought it was bigger than that. I mean, he went up like 5.5 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Shai
It's
was
a big
19.
5.5 though to make that jump that he did and play well in clutch situations.
Also-
Well, I mean, he
Also
went from the
narrative.
Lakers to
Also
the Pelicans,
narrative.
though.
yeah.
Like I'm not saying that
Like-
that was like a narrative, like a media kind of
Narrative.
thing. But I'm saying that had to do with like
Leave LeBron in
yeah, like,
shadow.
exactly.
And
Like he was traded. I feel like that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like
Yeah,
he
you're
was
not wrong.
traded, so then they're
Right.
all of a sudden thinking like, then everyone starts thinking like, oh, he's not like people were not assuming he was going to have that kind of season.
Mhm.
So then he makes headlines.
From a non-playoff team to a playoff team, let's talk about Portland. Josh, talk about the offseason. Talk about the outlook for the upcoming season. Talk about who you like, who you don't like.
Portland re-signs Carmelo.
Mm-hmm. Good or bad deal?
Good deal,
Yeah,
Good deal.
obviously.
I agree.
Gets Harry Giles.
Big one, huge.
I mean, he's had a good
Great
preseason
couple
so far.
games.
What is he averaging? Like 18 and 14 right now.
Something like
Some
that.
two
Double
games.
double.
And two
Holy
games.
shit.
Re-signs. I will
Said
say.
two
I will
double-doubles.
say.
With, like,
I
4
will say
blocks.
it was a revenge game, so that does fuel
Huge.
something.
Huge.
But then they re-signed Rodney Hood,
Who?
and then they signed Derek Jones to maybe a little bit more than Derek Jones deserves.
I
2
agree.
years, 19 million.
But he
I
played.
feel like he's
he-
more of a 2 years, 5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, like betting him. Not really.
He played well though in the preseason so far.
Has he?
Yeah,
That's
he
good.
starts for them.
That's good.
Yeah, I think they got a cool team, and like, I think every night there's like the potential for one guy to go off, and it doesn't have to be Dame.
They also got Ennis Cantor, by the way,
who, yeah,
And
Yeah.
because that was in the trade.
Right.
and Covington. We can't. Everyone's
And
forgetting about
Covington.
Covington.
I mean,
Oh,
they're
man,
they're
I think that's good.
their team when you like they
Wow.
should be better than the 8 seed. Like they really
Yeah.
should be. And obviously,
Yeah.
This
if,
is a
I mean
5-seed
statistically,
team.
like I remember like seeing the stats during the bubble.
Oh,
Like with
back
Nurkic,
too.
like they're
He
like
had a great
they're,
bubble.
like, way better.
He's
way better.
unbelievably good.
It was like when they got Nurkic like 3 years ago, they were like 8 games under 5. I don't remember the exact stats, but they were like far
Yeah.
under
I
500.
mean, they caught up
And
a
then they
lot,
ended
a
up,
lot of
like,
ground
They ended up like
in the bubble.
going the second half of the season like dominating
Yeah.
with him.
no,
and they
I
made
mean,
the playoffs. that
remember
year.
when it was him and Jokic on the same team?
Yeah, and nobody. And
Yeah,
Nurkic
it's
was just like a backup,
Yeah.
or maybe it's like a
No,
small
he's
starter on the power
he's
forward.
great. Covington's a great pickup. He can shoot. He can guard guys.
Yeah.
Derek Jones is like whatever. He's there and can help them out. And
He'll be
obviously
helpful.
got Damon CJ, and Damon CJ have been there for a while now, and they work. you
Can't
know?
and Cantor's also like he's just not a fit for the Celtics. He's not a good fit
No.
for the Celtics.
He's been there before.
Yeah,
works.
he's yeah, exactly. He's not like I think there's lots of players where it's like they can't go to specific teams, and I feel like the Celtics are one of those kind of teams where it's like there's such a specific
Looking for
way
specific
of-
guys.
and like way that they play
Hmm
where it's like Ennis Cantor's not gonna
As in,
work
like,
out.
not people who score.
and also like defensively.
Okay. bro.
You can't score, but
And
you
his
have to play
Cantor's
defense.
per
That's pretty
36
much it.
minutes would be
Yeah.
sick, probably. Maybe not. I feel like it
Probably
was, though.
would
Every
be.
time he got in, he'd score a couple baskets. I feel like.
He was like
Baskets.
he was averaging double doubles
That's
for
a
like
very
every
good
year
bench.
before he came
I
to the
know.
Celtics.
I know.
It's a super good bench.
Per 36, 17 and 15.8.
Yeah, it's
That's
sick.
that's the most.
I like
important
Ennis
stat.
Cantor. I think this team, I don't know if this is a hot take, I think this team will win a playoff series.
I agree. I like them a lot. It
Ennis
depends on
Cantor's surprisingly young,
what is he like 27?
28 years old.
Yeah, he was drafted early too.
He was one and done, wasn't
he
Third.
like the third pick or something?
Why did you just?
Yeah, he
do
was
that?
the third pick. He was 19
Why
years
did you
old
just do that? So wasn't he
19
like
years
the
old.
third pick?
from
he? Yeah.
Stone Ridge Preparatory School in
New Hampshire.
Simi Valley.
Oh,
Real boy.
real
Ennis
bro.
Cantor. Real bro, sorry.
Yeah,
Ennis
so-
the Menace. That's
Gary
his name.
Trent is really cool too. I think he can shoot the hell out of the ball when he's hot. And then my personal favorite, one of my top 3 favorite players in the league,
Mhm.
Anthony Simons. A lot of it is based off of the spelling of his name, but the rest of it, the reason why I like him is because he had a really, really good
sucks.
game 2 seasons ago against the Kings at the end of the season where he started
Mhm.
and he had like a
Mhm.
45-point triple-double. He's good. I think he's good, and he's under. He's been working out. He didn't do well in the first preseason game, which sucks because that's what we've based everything off of this far. But
Mhm.
I like him a lot. I like their bench. I mean, down the whole bench, the only person that I don't see getting in the game is Caleb Swanigan, and he's the Purdue boy, the big boy that was.
Yeah. I liked him a lot, actually, coming
yeah.
out of school.
but he
but hasn't
hasn't
translated.
done anything. But their starters are great. Their bench is great. And I think Carmelo will start over Derek Jones.
They said he won't.
Oh, all right.
And Carmelo was okay with that.
He said, yeah, like, we'll figure it out.
I think he's
can
not
pull
okay
it
with
up.
it because he's like a big, that's his
I
big
think
thing.
I don't think he would have resigned if that was true.
I mean, their bench really is good.
Yeah, they're
Like,
saying
you
like
can make like a starting lineup from that bench that's better than some teams' starting lineups.
Should we work on that?
Cavs,
okay, why the Cavs have
Pistons.
Love and Drummond,
Actually,
bro.
the Pistons.
Maybe the
I don't care
Pistons.
if they have Blake Griffin, but it's
Thunder.
like, yeah, the Thunder actually too.
What's the starting lineup here? So is it Anthony?
yeah?
Oh,
Hood,
or no, yeah,
Trent.
Hood too.
Hood, but Hood isn't
Zach
going to play
Collins,
for a while.
Cantor,
He tore his Achilles
Carmelo,
in
like that's pretty good.
February. I think Hood's out for a while.
Let's
No,
see.
no. I think he did that earlier. I think he's fine.
Long season, you forget sometimes.
I
Yeah, he
think
played.
he's fine.
Oh, okay,
Um,
cool. Rodney Hood, shout out.
yeah, I'll double down, dude. I think this Portland team's poised for like a really good year.
Yeah.
I think Dame top 3 MVP voting.
I mean, we shouldn't count.
He
on,
is really good.
We shouldn't like think that there's going to be injuries, but I feel like every year with the Blazers,
Someone.
something happens. And I hope not.
I think this is the
especially-
year everything goes smoothly.
It
Wow.
could be.
And even if we just talk about their bench, I feel like anyone could kind of fill in, and they'd still kind of keep that train running smoothly.
Yeah, and I think if what's his name, if Harry Giles the third plays well, I think that's
Huge
like,
value pick.
Yeah,
pick
I mean,
up.
what was it? One
Yeah,
year,
like Bettman.
$1.6 million. He is, and that was a guy that I like wanted the Celtics to draft so bad. It was Tatum's college roommate, and especially being nervous about Tatum re-signing at the time, I was like, they need this to keep Tatum, and then obviously Tatum signs the deal without Harry.
Mm-hmm.
But the way Harry Giles is playing, it's like, oh, maybe like we
Yeah.
needed him for more.
Well, would
than
you
just-
rather have Harry Giles? He's like 22, 21, or Tristan Thompson?
Why not both? One was a $1.6
I mean, you could afford
million
both, I guess.
Deal.
He probably wouldn't
Right.
play that much.
He'd be
though.
a much better option than
What did
Rob
Giles
Will.
sign with Portland?
It's 1.6 for 1 year.
So
Like nothing. Like he. Well, I mean, he hasn't. I think
Depending on
that's
how it
fair based on
goes.
how he's performed.
I think it's a
Yeah.
really cool team though. I have high hopes for them. Definitely my team in the West.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and
Yeah.
if Melo comes off
Yeah.
the bench, I have him top 3 6 man of the year.
Oh,
I think
man.
Portland sweeps the
6
awards.
man of the year?
Yeah,
That'd be
Cool. That'd be very
so
cool. But I don't think so.
dude,
I
and I
he could do
think
it.
I mean, what would you have paid Melo for 1 year? I think he's
Like,
worth
any
so
team.
much more than 2.6.
Yeah. Maybe
But
he
I
really-
think
Yeah.
because
really
he got
appreciates it.
slighted by the entire NBA basically. Everyone was like, "Bro, Carmelo's done. He's washed." And then everyone like loved it when he came to Portland and started scoring. Like, "Oh my God, so good for Melo!" Like, I think that he's now found a home there where he finally feels wanted and is like willing to take a pay cut.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
made money.
They took the risk.
And I
with
think
him
having a
and it paid off.
happy Carmelo can
Yeah.
be big. And if he's on that second unit as like a primary scorer, I think that's that could be a great role for him. You know?
Yeah.
Quick little game for you guys. Out of everybody on Portland, who is most likely to get the COVID-19 vaccine first?
Do you know the answer to this?
No, I'm curious.
I'm gonna have to go with.
And his Cantor because
Enes
he's like
Kanter.
a national like
Threat.
bandit or whatever.
I'm assuming
He's on
that
the Earth's most wanted list.
it's got to be like Rodney Hood.
Okay. I was gonna say Enes Cantor too, just because he's like all of a sudden like the governor of like
wacko.
every place he goes, and I feel he's like, look at the shot, and then
Yeah, I mean he's a good like social activist kind of guy, so maybe
All right.
he would do that.
we just played a quick game of guess who would get the vaccine first on the Portland
I
Trailblazers.
like that. Also, the same team that I think it was that got trapped in the Emerson elevator.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Portland with
Even more to like about him. I've been in that elevator,
It's pretty cool.
so that's pretty neat.
It's actually very cool.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Awesome.
I've also seen the Utah Jazz at Emerson. I was walking down the street one time.
There we
I
go.
turned around. That's Ricky Rubio and Jonas Jerebko. Wow.
Wow.
I was just getting lunch. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
I remember that.
And they were like, "Yo, you want to play for us, dude? You look like you
They
can do
actually
this."
saw your
Sorry, man, I have
mixtape on
class.
YouTube.
I said I got a radio show.
Anthony Simons points
Here's
per game
a
at
quick
9.
little,
I'm sorry, it's under.
Before we head over,
Why would you do that?
Oh,
Also,
7.6.
totally ruined my perfect segue into the Utah Jazz.
before we
I
head
know,
over
that's
to
fine.
the before we head over on your perfect segue to the Utah
Fucking
Jazz,
kidding.
I just
any,
want to
any
give a
more
quick.
opportunity to talk to.
I want to give
talk
a
about
quick
Anthony.
shout out to this girl who just liked me on Hinge.
Oh, let's
Is her name Kylie?
She actually played college basketball
Oh,
For the
At-
Utah Jazz.
at Emory,
oh,
Sadie.
which is where my love of my life, Sadie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sadie.
How does every
You
episode
can't say
descend
that
into you like
shit.
apologizing or
Please,
missing
Sadie.
something?
Oh God.
Please, if you're
Oh,
listening,
God.
take me back.
Oh
But-
Jesus, Mary.
I think you have to put a dollar
But-
into some kind of jar
Now
every
we're
time
gonna
we
play-
talk
now
about
we're
a
gonna play
girl.
Guess her stats.
yes, her.
First of all,
Yes,
before
that
I
gal.
continue, she was a guard.
Okay.
They went 19-6 last year.
Wow.
She is 5'6" on this, 5'7" on Hinge. What do we believe? What do we believe?
Usually they
One of
don't.
them
They
she's
usually
wearing
inflate them.
Yeah,
on
so
this-
she's 5'5".
One of them, she's wearing
Wow.
some booties. The other one, she's wearing some Adidas Alpha Bounce.
That's a fact. That's actually a fact. Okay. How many points per game did she score?
Can you tell us the position? I mean, she's
Guard.
A guard. Yeah,
That's all I can tell. I
Does
admit.
that help you
yeah. Because she's a big man versus like a guard. I think.
for points?
Uh,
I'll say 9.3.
Song.
I'm gonna say 12.2.
Wait, we don't know her position.
I mean,
Guard.
She could have not even played.
bro.
No. She-
5 points a game.
27.
11.
Oh,
I think Brian won. He got the closest.
Four,
went over
four
those.
rebounds.
Kill me.
2.8 assists. 2.8
Rebounding
assists.
guard.
But
Hmm.
29% from 3.
Oof.
Ooh,
Marcus
silly.
Smart.
But she gets to the line.
She 84% from the line.
There we go.
Wow.
I think I need to go on a date with this girl.
We're gonna put on like the promo.
The date will be
Let-
to the
let's
YMCA.
let's get-
Me and
let-
her
let's-
are playing basketball.
what's her name, bro?
Let me
I can't disclose that.
let me
information
bring in
until
our
after the
first caller.
podcast.
Let me bring in our first caller,
Yes.
Jordan Mellowkline, and he's gonna tell us what you should say to said girl.
All right, here we go.
Before we can,
Hey, Jordan, we're coming to you live from the Baller Scholar podcast. You're our first caller ever. So
For sure
Josh
they're
just
supposed to
got
call in,
a
not
girl on
call out.
Hinge
That's
liked
true.
him.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, she's she played college basketball at Emory. She's a 5'6" guard. Can you guess how many points per game she had
that's the only information you had.
as a starter? What? Where's she from?
She's from Pennsylvania.
Ooh, huge basketball state.
Shout
What
out
part of
Colt.
PA? Philly?
I do not know.
Apparently, geography is very important in his guess.
7.6.
Okay, low ball. She had 11. What should Josh say?
That's more than Jordan.
That's not true.
What should Josh? What,
Jeez Louise. They're gonna think we got like a psycho on the line. Oh my god.
Oh, there's another
From the state penitentiary,
right there.
Jordan Mellowkline.
what should Josh message her on Hinge?
Say, my friend that goes to Bentley University plays basketball averages more points than you.
All right, there we go, and that's what we're gonna send you. Thank
Thanks,
you, Jordan.
Jordan.
All right, thank you.
All right, and we're back on.
You
It's
have to
actually
say
true. I'm
that.
sorry, Jordan. if
Honestly-
you're listening to this part, which I'm assuming you are because you're a good
Yeah,
friend,
he's gonna hear his own part too.
Exactly.
He's got a big side for that.
Yeah.
you did actually average 12.6 points, maybe 12.4 last season. So I'm sorry for saying that. And you were a junior. She
How
was a
dare
senior.
you, Josh?
Okay.
What did she average as? What did she average as a
Junior?
junior? She averaged 12.8.
Oh, she
Ooh,
went down
downgrade.
though.
Yeah, but I'm sorry to Jordan. And she actually shot 3.8 out of. She shot 10 shots a game.
Wow. Ask her what happened in between
This
the
girl
seasons.
needs to come to Deb.
Yeah.
Bro,
She
She's
should be
better
on
than
this
us.
Podcast.
Wait, you
Better
got
than me,
you
you
got-
and Brian,
no,
not
no,
Matt.
here's
Matt
what
will
you
beat
say,
you.
bro. Here's what you
Matt
say.
will beat you.
Here's what you
you're
say.
Don't
listening.
say it.
One-on-one,
Beat
winner, loser pays for dinner. That's what you say.
That
That's
is a
sexy.
great idea.
That's a great line.
It's like love and
Great
basketball.
fucking line.
Just say that she got a feature on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's also a great idea. Feature on
that's
the
a little
podcast.
Creepy. That's a little creepy.
I
Come to
mean,
my friend Scott's
send me,
basement and do this podcast with us.
yeah. If it wasn't in a basement, it'd be less creepy.
Back to Anthony Simons, over under.
Yeah, it's over under 9. He averaged 8.3 points last
That's
season.
Matt's
I
only
think it's-
asking
yeah.
him for only asking him to get
Wow, I
0.8
think
points
it's
more.
It's a packed team. There's a lot of mouths to feed on that team.
Yeah, I mean, really quickly.
But isn't he one of the
Anthony
mouths?
I guess
Eats.
I didn't realize
Is
that he
he?
scored that many
Yeah.
this season.
Well, it's also because of
Don't
injury, though.
disrespect your boy.
It's because of injury. Let's be real. I'm
Who
sorry.
got hurt in the backcourt? Did Dame not play last season, or CJ?
CJ was hurt at times. Rodney Hood getting hurt is going to bring time because then they'll put CJ at the 3 every once in a while, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, they it wasn't like tons of injuries, but I think it was just like all of the injuries that like added up to more people getting more play time
Mm-hmm.
because
What's-
people were playing at different positions.
Zach Collins too. He's
Yeah.
not going to play until mid-January, but
Oh, really?
I don't know. He's an interesting guy that I feel like he could develop into something.
This is a perfect segue for Matt to move into the Jazz.
Zach Collins.
Because he's white.
And Utah is a primarily white state.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And now we're on to the Utah Jazz, just like that.
Easy. That was a 5 degrees of
Flawless.
Utah Jazz. It's like the Kevin Bacon game. All right, so they give Donovan Mitchell the max. Jordan Clarkson comes back. Derek Favors comes back, even though he wasn't. Was he there last season?
No,
I don't think so.
he
They just
took
signed him.
1 year off.
He
I
came
believe.
back.
Went to New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know, so same squad more or less, plus Derek Favors.
Mm.
So
Minus Tony Bradley.
that's true, and that's a big loss.
Yep,
Derek Favors cannot fill.
exactly.
In summation, you like Jazz?
You like Jazz?
Yes.
Tell us why.
Oh, baby, it's
I-
a triple.
I think that they
Sorry.
should be a great team. Like a great team.
Great meaning what?
Like a top 3 in the West kind of thing.
Really?
I
It's
agree.
tough. It's tough.
Really good.
Backtrack you on
Tough
that,
'cause of the
Mr.
Warriors?
Mail.
It's
Top
tough because of
3
the
for
Warriors.
Jazz?
Yeah.
I think the Jazz should be like a top 3 team in the West.
Wow.
Now, let me say something.
Why don't you just say they're going to be?
You know what? Because I don't know about the Warriors. That's the tough part.
I think
Bogdanovich.
the Warriors are in the discussion for top 3.
Bogdanovich.
Holy
Stay tuned for the
shit.
Pacific Division preview.
I'm sorry that they have a good team.
Yeah, good.
Great team. I mean Bogdanovich back.
Right?
Like that alone. They would like I mean, I hate to be that guy of saying like woulda coulda kind of stuff, but like they would have won that series against the Nuggets. They were up 3-1
wrong.
without him. And he's a great player. He really is. And he was so good for them all season. Then he got hurt. I think that
Yeah.
Azubuike, he might not even play that much. I still think he's a great pick late in the draft. 27th in the first round, like that. I feel like I just remember watching him in college and just thinking he was gonna be a beast. I'm surprised he
fella.
was never. I'm surprised he hadn't even been in the NBA. Like,
I know he
like
stuck around. Didn't
yeah,
he?
I think he was a senior. So it makes sense that he was drafted that late. But I think that he's a great pickup.
I mean, that's basically Tony Bradley probably right there.
I mean,
No offense to Tony.
yeah, but at the same time, like they got Derek Favors, so he might end up playing some minutes at center too,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what he was doing.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Jeez.
He nailed it though.
But then
There
it's
was
like
another Azubuike in the
Jordan
league
Clarkson.
back in the
I
day.
was gonna say
Jordan Clarkson was very good in the bubble. Joe Ingles, obviously we know what
Solid
he can do.
guy.
He's a solid player. Moutier, solid. I mean, he's not obviously not great and that didn't live up to his expectations
Yep.
when he was drafted, but he's a solid backup point guard. Like and then Royce O'Neal. Once again they're
Love
another
Royce O'Neal.
another team that has like a bunch of people that would be starting on other teams.
Mm-hmm.
Name them.
Royce O'Neal, who
Yeah.
did start for them. I don't even know. Maybe he's
He's
still
like
will.
one of those
About
filler
bro.
guys though.
Yeah, but he was pretty good.
What team is Royce
not
O'Neal
offensively,
starting
definitely
on?
not offensively. He doesn't really
For
do
like
much
a lot of
I think
offensively.
he'd start for like 3 teams maybe. At wing.
That,
Bro.
you might be right
No.
because small forward is like a.
He's like Daniel
Yeah,
Tice
that's
mixed
true.
with Marcus Smart.
But then it's like Jordan Clarkson.
Oh, wow.
Jordan Clarkson would be any team's 6-man really, other than like the Clippers
Yeah.
or the Celtics, or he'd be a starting shooting guard, point guard. Joe Ingles he's not as good as he was like
I'm just
4
not
years
like
ago.
excited about him, you know.
Yeah, he's not Joe Ingles not as good as he was a couple years ago, obviously, but
Like I don't
he
think
still would be starting somewhere else.
better than the Thunder starting 5 with their bench. Probably
Mm,
not.
Probably
Maybe.
not.
They would
They-
compete
I mean,
with them,
they definitely
probably.
would compete, but like
I like Emmanuel Moutier. I don't know why. I feel like he
Got a
smokes
cool name.
cigarettes too.
he might.
He had a good
Is that
good rookie year. There's a lot of guys for some reason that have good
Have
rookie
at it.
years and then like taper off. Like Dennis Smith did that.
Mm-hmm.
Jula Okafor did that. Just looking at some of these guys, pulling up their stats while we go through this, I realized that. Mike Conley, not what they hoped for first season. And they're paying him a lot of money.
He was hurt for a while, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah, but
played
even before
47
that-
games,
No.
14 points, 4 assists.
Whoa,
Like,
I didn't know it was that low.
that was a disappointment. I feel like he fits really well with that kind of culture, that team, but it hasn't gelled for some reason.
I mean, I think that we can't expect him. He's one. He's getting older,
Yeah.
and two, he goes to a team. He goes from the Grizzlies, where there was no one
Right.
for like the past couple of years. They were not. They were like a bad team. He was from the Grizzlies to the young Jazz with Donovan, with like a superstar in Donovan Mitchell, Bogdanovich, who takes a lot of shots, Rudy Gobert, who's going to get his, and then they also had pieces like Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson. Like, I mean, we can't expect. Like, I will say that I was disappointed with the season he had last year, but I mean, what really could we like? How much like before the season even started? Like, what could we have even expected? We couldn't have expected like the same thing as when he was on the Grizzlies, when he averaged 21 points the season before. We
His
could have definitely
percentages are down. I mean, take away like the usage and volume and all that. Like his field goal percentage dropped like 0.3%. I don't know.
I mean, we
thought it
could have
would've been a
expected more
better
than 14
fit.
because he went down
'Cause
7 points a game. That's
Yeah.
pretty drastic.
Right.
But
And you're right. The culture and like the context of going from like the Grizzlies to the Jazz is definitely notable. And I think I don't know. It's just one of those teams that would get in like offensive like funks where just no one was moving, and it would just be like Donovan Mitchell has to like create something. And I think that was kind of a symptom of Bojan being out. I don't know. Gobert's a great defensive guy. I would like him to maybe offensively be a little more dominant. I feel like he's not quite there. I mean, he's like 15 points a game. I feel like they need more out of him if they want to be like your top 3 in the West. I feel like Rudy Gobert has to be more like 18 a game. You think?
yeah, no, I mean,
I love him.
he's just obviously a great defensive player, so he'll impact the game one way or another.
Right. Absolutely.
But at the same time, like for who he is and like who he can be, like I remember when they used to talk about like he's obviously not the same player as Dwight Howard. And I remember like when Dwight Howard was on the Lakers back in like 2012, they would talk about him and be like, he needs to be a guy that's going out there and getting like 20 and 16.
Right.
Why aren't we holding Rudy Gobert to that kind of standard? If he's
I think
an
we
all-star
should.
this season, defensive player of the year, and then talking about getting snubbed as an all-star every year, he's all NBA, obviously for good reason. Like he deserves it because of his defense. But it's like, I think that we should be expecting like an 18-15 kind of thing from him. Especially since last season he played 34 minutes a game.
With how many blocks? Like 3?
Only 2
2.
actually. He was down last year a lot.
No, but I'm saying, what does he need to do?
Oh, yeah. I mean, around 2.
I mean, he's
2.5 would be his fine. I mean, like if he's playing 34 minutes a game, especially, I
Yeah.
think he should be getting like 18 and 15 kind of thing.
That's yeah.
It
Exactly.
really depends on the volume of shots that Donovan Mitchell takes.
Right, but
mean,
I mean,
Rudy Gobert
Donovan
is-
Mitchell, like, who else is going to shoot the ball on this
They
team?
do a lot of pick and pop.
You know?
Why won't? I know what you mean, but like, why doesn't Rudy Gobert shoot more then? Like it's because
Yeah, he's
because of
taking
something.
8 shots a game.
Yeah, that's like not enough for who he is. For like a star center, 8 shots a game.
No, we're
I
talking
know
about Jokic taking, like,
Yeah.
way more than that. Probably, like,
20.
that much from 3.
And obviously, yeah, exactly. Obviously, he's not.
What's
not,
he look
he's
like
not a
from
shooter.
the free throw line?
Rudy Gobert's not a shooter,
63%.
but it's like
last
think
night.
about
Attempts a
like
game.
Oh, like 5. And you know how, like Basketball Reference has this kind of, like, similar performance, like, career arc? Where it looks more like win shares, which who knows, like, what goes into calculating that stat. But it has, like, some all-time greats. Like, it has Shaq, like, Dwight Howard, Karl Anthony Towns, Patrick Ewing. Like,
Yeah.
I think just from what he does on the defensive end, like, his defensive, like, stats are off the charts and has him, like, with those guys. I just think that with this team, like, he would be great on a team that has 2 or 3, like, great scorers. And like the Jazz just have never been that. So I feel like he needs to develop that in his game. He just hasn't yet. Is Jordan Clarkson, do you think 4 years, 52 is fair for him?
Yeah, I like him a lot.
What do you mean fair for him?
Yeah, like you think he's worth that?
Oh, I think it's
Right.
definitely worth that.
I think that it's like
Maybe not for this team though.
I think that like 4-year contracts for like players like him are kind of strange.
Well, he's like late
'Cause-
20s right now.
Yeah, but I feel like when you get a
28.
4-year contract for like a non-starter, especially one that's only been there, that was his first year on the team. Maybe was it his first year? Or was it his like first like?
I think it was his first full.
Yeah.
First full. I feel like it's just always like a weird thing. I don't know. I mean, I think he's worth it.
It's kind of like the Bertrand
he
deal.
proved
It was
it.
5 years.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think he proved himself for sure.
It's
but
Marcus Smart money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. Like Marcus Smart was like on the team, so it's like we know
Well,
what he
and Marcus
is.
Smart does a lot more, I feel like, than Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
Jordan Clarkson scores a lot. I don't know. I love
I feel
Jordan
like
Clarkson. I
he
always have.
scores.
I think that's a good contract, just not for this team exactly. And I feel like they need bench production off some guy that's like not getting paid this much, so they can, like say they lost. I don't know. Say they wanted to go out and get a power forward that wasn't Derek Favors and pay someone a little bit like that. That 4 years, $52 million to someone that's like more
Right.
deserving. I feel like they Jordan Clarkson, that would have been a good deal for him to go to a different team, but I like him still. I think that this is a good team that they have, and Derek Favors is like a good person for them to bring back. Obviously, a year off, but starting lineup wise, like I think they have a lot of it covered: rebounding, assists, defense, rim protection. I think just overall, this is a good team, and really, there aren't too many holes.
Mm-hmm. What do you think Rudy Gobert is going to be up for like a supermax contract? How would you handle that?
Yeah, I agree with that. It just like sucks.
What do you agree with?
with Brian's
Sigh.
with Brian's side? It's just like a tough situation because it's like
Him and
Could-
Donovan definitely don't like each other still, even though they said, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
just
Oh,
resolved."
yeah.
it was like a
Rudy
weird,
Gobert.
Like, can't like
Huge
They're also one of
influence
those
in the
teams-
COVID
it's-
shutdown.
once again.
Okay,
it all
wait.
depends on like in 3 years, like what's LeBron gonna be like?
Yeah.
What is like what are the Clippers gonna look like in 3 years, kind of thing?
Yeah, but
Is like why you choose to invest in Rudy Gobert is based on like
I'm
the
not
rest
saying,
of the
like, he's
West.
not
That's
worth this.
exactly
I don't think
why,
he's
but
worth
it's
like,
like
who's going to be the
Supermax.
star of the league
Yeah, I
then?
mean, like this team in 3 years can still be like a great team. Obviously,
Yeah.
look at them; they're all young.
Well, yeah,
well,
if you
not
nail
all
down
young,
if
but,
you
like,
nail
they're all
down
pretty young.
Donovan and I mean, Bojan's going to be in his 30s. Conley's 35.
Yeah, Conley's gonna be very old in 3 years, but I mean,
Favors isn't that young. Clarkson we just mentioned.
I think
I don't think they will. I mean, it's going to rest on Donovan and Gobert, but
if you get to the trade deadline, whatever it is this season, and
Yeah.
I think you field offers for Gobert and see like what it is, because that's
yeah. What would
Yeah.
you look for?
Yeah.
I mean,
you could give him to like
don't know.
Indiana
I don't
for like Miles Turner.
see
and
Miles
and-
Turner
and
could be okay.
Miles Turner and like Sabonis.
No, it can't be that.
No.
You have to
they
go
can't.
someone on the wing.
Yeah,
Oladipo,
Warren?
Oladipo,
Maybe
and
something
Warren
like
or
that.
Oladipo.
I just feel like
I don't
feel
hate
like,
that.
I feel like they would have to get Turner in return if they were actually
Right,
trade
to
with
fill
the
the- yeah, no, you
because
would.
they're such a defensive team. Because a lot of it's because of Gobert. If they lose Gobert,
Yeah,
that,
I mean,
like they
he's-
lose their identity almost. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think Turner could fill a lot of that, and if they could get another scorer out of a deal, and even like a pick, I would be very tempted to pull the trigger on that. Especially if it's like Turner, T.J. Warren, and a pick.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough because if he's going to a contract year, like no one's gonna want to roll the dice on him if he's not gonna like stick around. So you're probably not gonna get as much value as you could
And I feel
otherwise.
like he'd also have to go to like specific teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he obviously
Well, 'cause he
brings
doesn't stretch the
defense-
floor,
Yeah,
so-
exactly. But he brings defense with him.
Celtics.
So like he'd have to go to like a defensive-minded team that plays like
traditional
slower.
offense.
Yeah, traditional
Yeah.
offense.
I think if we're gonna talk about Gobert, we gotta shout out his nicknames.
Yes, please. What do
Goaty.
we got?
Do we know his nicknames? Anyone?
Oh, the Stifle Tower.
There we go.
The,
The fuck?
the Stifle Tower is the big one that I
He's
know.
got some good ones. man.
Stifle Tower.
Yeah.
The French Rejection. That's a good one. The Gobert Report.
That's good.
And my favorite, Gobzilla. That one's pretty tough, I'm not gonna lie.
That's good. I
know
like
why
that.
Anyone ever called
Joe-
him Gobzilla?
Joe Engels is Slow-Mo Joe and Jingle Joe.
Jingle.
I think for all broadcasts, they should use nicknames instead of their real names.
Yeah, I'd
Bring
pay
back
for
the
that.
nickname jerseys too. Remember those?
Yeah, what was that like?
When it was
20
like Ray
12?
Allen was
Yeah.
Jesus Shuttlesworth. That's like the only one that sticks out to me.
Oh yeah.
Do we like Donovan getting the max?
Yeah, I think you have to.
Do we like Donovan Mitchell just in general?
Does he want to return to Utah? Oh no, sorry.
No, he signed it.
He
It's
signed
just
it.
a matter of
I'm big on Donovan Mitchell. I think
Oh, he deserves it.
he Tatum's locked up with the Celtics for a bit, and Donovan I think gets out a year early. And I am a big fan of the idea
man.
that Donovan opts out and
Same
joins the
with
Celtics.
GRD.
Donovan and Celtics players have a lot of chemistry, and they really like each other. They go back and forth on Twitter from
Yeah.
Jalen Brown and his
Both
relationship in the
JB and
bubble,
JT.
and then Tatum on Twitter. He obviously played with Smart
Yeah.
in the Olympics too. Kemba Walker, Kemba may or may not be there, but
We'll be trading. Kemba for
imagine-
Donovan.
imagine Donovan, Tatum, and Brown.
not if you're Utah.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, wow, wee wah.
Wow, dude, I love thinking in the future, thinking Donovan. That's what GRD posted the other day. He said, "Why isn't Donovan Mitchell a Boston Celtic yet?"
Yeah.
Did you
As
see
a
that?
fit though, I feel like it doesn't
Shout
make
out
sense.
to GRD.
It doesn't
No,
with Tatum.
like instead of Brown,
No. Oh.
you're gonna go
from the
Brown,
shooting guard.
Tatum, Donovan.
Well, can Donovan play the point instead of?
I guess. I mean, his assist numbers aren't great. He's more just like a pure scorer. I feel like in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's the type of thing that they would.
He's
if-
clutch.
If he came to Boston, they would make it. They would figure it out, right? Isn't that what all like big threes do?
I
just kinda
guess.
figure it out.
I guess so.
But
I don't
it
know.
would have to. You're right. It would have to work. I forgot he played the two. And wasn't a pure point guard. I didn't know that.
Well, when Peyton Pritchard's averaging 15 and 10,
Bro, yeah, we're not gonna need him.
then you put Donovan at 2, Tatum at the 3. I don't mind that, but I
Yeah.
feel like someone's gonna have to go.
Wait,
Or Marcus Smart at the point.
Do you trade Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker, Robert Williams, and a first-round pick for Donovan Mitchell?
wow.
I don't think that's that. I don't no. If you're Utah, I think you need like a ton. more
Yeah,
than that.
yeah, I know.
I think you need Jalen.
If you're Utah, yeah.
I think it's.
I don't think
Jalen or
Kemba
no.
has much value right now. He really
Not
kind of
anymore.
shot himself
No,
in the
it'd
foot
be
in
Kemba and
the
Mike
bubble.
Conley. That obviously would have made sense, but
His sorry, this is off topic. Kemba's knee is like worse than they thought, or something.
yeah,
That's
it's
what I was telling you, bro. He's
very
not coming
similar
back
to
for
a
while.
Kyrie.
Well, no.
You were
He's
like,
coming back in-
bro, January,
he's
trust
playing
me.
in January.
He's not.
I think
He won't.
it'll be later. Same thing with.
I think that was
Romeo.
Scal said he's
optimistic.
gonna be managed the whole fucking season.
What does Scal know? I believe that though.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Scal.
That kind of
but-
sucks though. Although that means Tatum is gonna score 30 points a game this year.
I guess so. I feel like Kemba. I don't know what version of Kemba will be on the floor, but I don't
Alright.
see Utah. Wait, I want to shout out Mike Conley, who's never gotten a technical foul in his entire career.
Are you
Do we
fucking
think
kidding
this
me?
is the year
What
that
a
he
nice
does?
guy. No, absolutely not.
You don't think he's gonna
No.
flip out?
No.
Like beat a ref?
The man has gone 12 years without a technical foul.
Yeah.
Shout out to my Grizzly Mike Connolly.
Is he like the only
Shitty bang
one?
line.
I think it's the longest consecutive like amount of games without a technical foul.
It's pretty amazing.
He's a very good guy, even though he hasn't performed great. You know, you got to give him
This
that.
Yeah.
episode of
The
the
Baller,
Baller Scholar podcast was brought to you by Hershey's Hugs
and
and
Box Fox.
Box Fox popcorn.
Go to boxfox.com
That sounds
today
like
to
they just give you,
subscribe
like-
to your monthly subscription
Of Fox
service
meat.
of boxed Fox.
You ever had
meat.
Fox, Josh?
Hey,
course
you
I
got Fox.
That's why I'm
Very
sponsored
gamey,
by
very
them.
gamey.
Box
Very
Fox.
good.
Fox
very
soup,
gamey.
Box
great,
Fox.
and it's
The
nice
concierge
soup.
that brings
Soup
Box
for
Fox
my
aesthetic
family.
and human touch to
Bags of
scale
soup.
offering personal gifting solutions for a company large and small. We promise to be your go-to for gifting with dedicated sales manager and an all-star production team. We'll make it happen on brand and on time. Get started
right.
today
We
with
should
Box
email these
Fox.
companies and tell them like we're advertising for them and hope they pay us like after the fact.
Also,
Just
we
post
would
us on
love
your
to-
Instagram.
We'd love to give a quick shout out to our number one sponsor of 2 episodes now, Landshark Lager.
Landshark Lager, located in St. Louis, Missouri.
Fins
Island
up.
style lager.
Fins
Get
up.
yours at your local.
Straight out of
Package store.
Margaritaville.
Here in southeast Massachusetts, we have many liquor stores.
We have a few
go
shout outs of people today. Obviously, we have Aaron
Weiner,
Weiner,
Aaron Baines.
Kyle McGuire.
Bianca Aguilar.
Stephen Higgins. If we don't shout out Steve, he'll actually murder us.
Steve actually,
Yeah,
that's
we should
really
probably
weird.
open with that, actually.
Steve reviscoed a really weird picture a few years back.
Take that up. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, and then the last shout out is Jordan Mellokline, our first ever caller. Hopefully, we
right.
can have more callers
And
later
to
on.
Nina. I know you're listening.
Yep.
Does she listen?
Man.
Nope.
And May. I know you're
I mean, it's a
listening.
long commitment
May's
to something
listening.
you're not
May's
interested
actually
in.
listening
You know?
right now. She's got.
And
She's
to
bugged.
Matt and Josh's future girlfriends.
Let's go.
Or boyfriends. We hope you listen to
Yeah,
this.
that's true.
We hope you listen.
I'll come back to it,
Like, please.
please. I miss you already.
Sadie, please.
I miss you in the future.
Shout out
And
Elliot.
that's it.
Shout out to my
Today's
cat Elliot who
Ballers
scratched me in the neck.
podcast.
Yeah, slit my throat.
Scratch you in the neck, bro.
Yeah.
You just listened to another episode of the Baller Scholar podcast.